and welcome back. Today I am doing a little Q&A, get to know me type video. I thought that this would be useful to do just because I have never done a sole Q&A with questions that you guys have actually asked me before, and I always like watching these videos when I find new creators that I like to watch because I always think helps to just kind of get more of an understanding of them as a person. And obviously most of the content I do is like makeup, beauty related, and it's just nice sometimes to do something different that also isn't like a vlog where you have to like plan the whole day around having a camera. So this is just a sit down chatty video. I have my iced coffee, feel free to get a drink and just chill or have this on in the background. That's what I like to do with YouTube most of the time, is just like have it on, listening to it whilst I'm doing other stuff. And I think these videos are always great for that because you really don't need to like concentrate on what someone's doing and looking at the screen. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy, and thank you so much for sending in your questions. So I thought I would just give a little rundown of me and what this channel is. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining this little community we have. So I've been doing YouTube for fairly consistently since 2016, or maybe 2015. I started when I was in uni and I've kind of just continued from there, but YouTube is not my full-time job. I know it is for a lot of content creators nowadays, but I have a full-time 9-to-5 job and I do YouTube in my spare time at the weekends and basically when I can squeeze it in. So it's not a viable source of income for me or anything like that. I just do it for fun. So yes, it's mainly makeup and beauty content. Obviously, I know that a lot of people find me through my redhead content because as a redhead, I always found it really hard to know like what colours, what techniques, stuff like that, because it is more nuanced, I think, for a redhead, just knowing like what colours will work and what colours will suit. So obviously my content is for everyone, but I know a lot of redheads find me through my makeup tutorials and stuff like that because obviously everything that I use is pretty much going to be perfect if redheads are looking for products that will work for them. Yeah, so at the moment I am 28 years old. I live in Manchester. I was living down south, that's where I'm from, the south of England. Myself and my fiance lived there for 5 or 6 years. We moved up during the pandemic to Manchester and we've been here ever since and we love it here. We just feel really at home here, and we have a little black cat that we adopted coming up to 3 years ago called Merlin, and he is our baby. We love him so much. And yeah, that's us. So moving on to the questions. Where does your red hair come from in the family? And are there lots of redheads in your family? So yes, we do have a lot of redheads, but only in my generation. So it's a little bit strange, but myself, my brother and my 2 cousins, I only have 2 cousins, I don't have any other cousins. We all have exactly the same colour hair, but none of our parents have red hair. So we're not 100% sure where it's come from. And if you are a redhead as well, you probably know that it has to be a recessive gene. So it means that both your parents on both sides have to have that gene for you to get red hair. So we know that all of our parents, all 4 of our parents, myself and my cousins, everyone has the recessive red hair gene because we literally all have exactly the same colour hair. But no one else in our family has had hair as red as this. So we are the most ginger generation of our family. We do have like my grandparents, there was some like tinge of red hair kind of in some of them. So it kind of must have been in the line somewhere. Yeah, to answer your question, there are quite a few redheads. And then the other question about my red hair is, do random people in public compliment your red hair all the time? Yeah, I would say that it is pretty common. Not like just random people walking down the street, but I'd say especially in like hair salons, or like sometimes I'll get it from like people who are serving us, like if there's a waiter or something. It's normally women who say it. Most people are asking me if my hair is naturally that colour. But yeah, It is fairly common, and it has been fairly common my whole life, and I think that's why I've never dyed my hair, or not that solely alone, but like I know a lot of people do get bullied for having ginger hair and can get called names and stuff. I personally never experienced that, so I never really had a negative association with my hair colour, so I've never wanted to dye it. Like when I was a teenager, I did want to get blonde highlights at one point, but that was just because I thought they looked really cool. But I'm so glad I didn't, because I think it would look very weird. I've never ever used any type of hair dye. I wouldn't know where to start, and I cut my own hair as well. I don't go to a hairdresser anymore. I just keep it very simple, and my hair is very straight and lifeless, if I'm honest. I'm very thick as well, thick and straight. Yeah, I would love to know if random people compliment you for your hair colour as well. Like, what has your experience been? Has it been different? I would love to hear in the comments and get the conversation going, because I think meeting other redheads is always really exciting, and like you kind of like have this sort of unspoken connection. And I always think if I walk past a redhead in the street, like you always like catch eye with them, and I don't know if anyone else feels this, but you always kind of feel this like unspoken connection, like, oh, we have something in common, we are redheads, because there's not many of us around. Okay, another question about red hair. Are there any fair-skinned redheaded beauty YouTubers that you like to follow on YouTube? I honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I do find it quite difficult to find redhead YouTubers. I don't think there's a ton of them around. The one that I follow that I really love her content, she doesn't do redhead specific content, but she has this most gorgeous, beautiful red hair. She's called, well, her channel's called Retro Flame, and she's an Irish girl. She's called Erika. She's living in New York, and oh, she just has like the most dreamy, honestly idyllic looking life. She has the most beautiful apartment that has these like panoramic windows or with like an amazing view of New York, and she does vlog content and stuff. I love to watch that, and she also does a lot of fashion content, and she does throw some beauty stuff in there, but she's more of like a lifestyle, yeah, vlogging and fashion. I actually bought a top because I saw it on her, and I was like, that colour with your red hair, it was like a dark kind of forest green silky material, and it looked amazing with her hair. So I bought the same top because I was like, yes, I need that in my life. And then also Rhian HY, she is primarily like a vegan and cruelty free YouTuber. That's like her kind of niche, but she does have red hair as well. She's kind of stopped doing YouTube now, but she is on Instagram, so I really like her content. Oh yeah, the other person I was going to mention is Elz the Witch, if you've seen her. But she is a gaming YouTuber, but she also, I think, does a bit more lifestyle content now, and I know she like presents a radio show and stuff. So yeah, those are the three that I would think of off the top of my head. But again, please let me know if you have any redhead content creators to recommend, because I'm always looking for more, and I find it quite a hard category to find. I just don't really find many people, especially making content designed for redheads. So yes, please do recommend if you know of anyone else. And my assumption about you is that you're a friendly extrovert that likes to keep busy and get out and socialize. It's a very specific assumption about me. I don't know how I give off that impression through YouTube, but maybe because I'm just very inconsistent with YouTube, because I always have plans at the weekends, and as I say, I film at the weekends. I do think I'm sociable, and I do think I can be an extrovert, but is it like an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert, where I really, really like time on my own. I like being on my own. I like my own company, and I kind of like get my energy recharge from being on my own. But then I also feel like if I didn't socialize and be extrovert sometimes, I wouldn't like that either, and I would be really sad and feel very isolated and get down. So I do feel like I get energy from socializing with people, but I'm not someone who like needs to be out all the time and wants to socialize constantly. I like doing like one social activity for the day, and then I'm like done, and I'm like, okay, I need to go home and sit on the sofa now. Yes, I do feel like in some situations I am an extrovert, but I also feel like I'm an introvert. So Let me know if you can relate. I'm sure a lot of people can. I think a lot of people would think that I am an extrovert because I'm quite a loud person, and I feel like I don't find it that difficult to talk to people and talk to new people and stuff. So I think I have both in my personality, and I think the side that a lot of other people see would be that kind of extrovert side, but the people who know me really well know that I also have the introvert, want to be on my own, just spend time not doing anything, chilling on the sofa, stuff like that. Okay, someone's saying their wife is about to dye her hair sort of dark ginger. Do I have any makeup recommendations or tips? So again, I haven't actually dyed my hair ever, so I can't really speak from that experience, but I can say like what colours work for me as a natural redhead, and I'm sure it would be very similar. So for me, it's like bronzy autumn colour palette, and I think if anyone is wanting to dye their hair ginger, it's like that kind of colour palette needs to work with your skin tone and with your colouring already. Because if you have like, I can imagine if you have like very olivey skin and dye your hair red, then it would maybe be more tricky to find colours, or maybe different colours would look good. But the colours for me as a fair-skinned redhead that work are rusty tones, greens, those kinds of colours always are a fail-safe option. And then the colour that I really love is pink or like a rose gold, and I think that can often look nice. Gold jewellery always looks nice as well, so anything gold that's gonna like catch the light. So I really like the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerise in rose gold, and they do a ton of different colours. I also really like oyster pearl in the same thing, and then kind of peachy pinks on the cheeks and the lips really kind of complement personally my skin tone really well. I also think it can look really nice if you do like a bright pink on the cheek, because that can kind of make it look like you've sort of been out in the snow, that kind of vibe, you know, and you have really like red rosy cheeks. Sometimes like a really bright pop of pink on some redheads can look so gorgeous, and I really love how that looks. It kind of depends on your colouring. Like for me, I personally wouldn't wear like the bright cool tone pink because I know that doesn't look flattering on with my specific shade of red hair. But if you have more of a dark kind of chestnutty auburny shade, I think that can often look really, really nice. And yeah, just like practice, use different colours. When you have red hair, it is such a bright kind of colour that kind of dominates any look that you are going to create. So often neutralising it in other places. So like, for example, wearing just a plain white t-shirt can still look quite intense just because my hair is bright orange. So I don't normally wear bright yellows. I don't wear bright oranges either. I don't wear some bright pinks. I will wear some, I won't. I'm quite picky about pink. So you just kind of have to consider the hair colour as part of the whole look, is what I would say. Okay, so last question is about my skin. So it says, how do you keep your skin so clear and bright, and what skincare are you using? Okay, so I will say, first off, before I say anything else, do not always trust what someone's skin looks like on camera. I do not put any blurring filters on my videos whatsoever, okay? My skin still looks way more airbrushed just from me filming it. It definitely has some kind of either blurring effect, or the pixels obviously aren't gonna pick everything up 100%. And also, like for example, now I'm sitting further back from the camera. If you were looking at my skin in real life, like as close as my finger is now, you would see I've got like a little scar here, I've got like texture, I've got a pimple on my chin at the moment, I've got dry patches, I've got scarring from spots that I've had over the years, I've got freckles. I appreciate that I have been fortunate to have decent really good skin, but I just want to be completely upfront. I don't want anyone to ever think like, oh my god, her skin is like so perfect, because anyone's skin that you see through a camera lens is a lot of the time going to look better than it does in person. Also, a lot of the really big YouTubers you see put blurring filters on their face, so it's always going to look more perfected. It's always going to be like, why doesn't my skin look like that when I put that much makeup on? Because they are putting a filter on their video. So I don't want to ever give a false impression of my skin and the texture that I do have, because everyone has skin texture. So I will say that I have been very lucky in terms of I think partly genetics, and I hate to say it, but I do think that is part of it. I have never had really, really bad acne or really bad spots. I would say that what I've learned about skincare, the less products with fragrance I use and the fewer number of products I put on my skin, the better my skin is. So I literally keep it so simple on a day-to-day basis, and I use about 3 brands, and I always buy from those brands because I know they never formulate products with fragrance, and they keep them fairly free of irritants. So my skin can be very sensitive to like acids and any kind of irritants that might make it flare up, and I will usually get spots on my chin when I'm reacting to a product. I would also get like dry, tight feeling skin if I'm reacting to a product. So I know those 2 feelings, and I know that normally it is when I'm reacting to a product. The other thing is I introduce new products very slowly, so I try not to introduce more than 1 new product at a time. So I know if my skin starts flaring up, it's probably because of that specific product. So just like understanding your skin and knowing when you react to things and what it normally is that you're reacting to is honestly half the battle. Then knowing your skin type. So I have normal to dry skin. I don't really get oily at all. Also, like I said, find that acids are too strong for my skin, so I honestly don't use acids. I just don't. I occasionally will use the Ordinary Niacinimide serum, which I'm not sure if that's an acid or not, but I will only use it as a spot treatment, because if I use it all over my face, then my face starts getting tight and itchy again. You know, just knowing your skin and knowing what your face reacts to is honestly half the battle. In terms of actually my routine, I keep it so simple. Like I said, I will use a cleanser in the morning, and then I will moisturize, and that's it. And then I'll add SPF. That's it. I don't use any other products. In the evening, I will use a oil cleanser to take my makeup off if I'm wearing makeup. If I'm not wearing makeup, I skip that step. I'll then use my cleanser that I used in the morning, the same cleanser, just to wash my face. And then I will use a moisturiser, and like I say, I might go in with like a spot treatment if I've got spots that day, or I might go in with an oil over top, or like a hydrating, the Ordinary hyaluronic acid if I feel like I need a bit of extra hydration. And that is honestly it. That is basically my routine. And I've gone through phases where I've used more products, and I just find that my skin doesn't need the extra products. And also, a lot of the times I'll start breaking out when I'm using a lot of extra products and other acids and stuff that everyone else is saying is working for their skin. My skin does not like it. So I will leave some of my favorite, like the stuff that I'm using at the moment, I will leave it in the description box so you can go and see. But I would honestly say just find what works for you. That's my answer, my very long-winded answer for that. So I think that is going to conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you feel you know me a little bit better. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this format of video. I would love to know what you guys think of it, because as I say, I rarely do just like sit down and talk to you guys. So please do let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, because that helps like me understand how many people are liking it and how many people aren't. I hope you are doing well and taking care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.